Run fast, eat ass.
You know, the first time I ever took a shot of alcohol, my buddy said, skate fast, eat ass.
Hey, culture.
I remember that. I was like 17.
It's a cultured individual. I love that.
All right, boom.
I love that for him. One of my earliest memories was going to the Oklahoma City Marathon with my mom to sell these t-shirts, actually. She started this company with her sister, which was inspired by the marathon that they ran. It's called 26.2 Outfitters. And yeah, just growing up, I remember going to expo after expo, helping them sell the shirts. I think I was like 4 years old, playing with one of those like leg roller things, thinking it was a toy. But yeah, man, I've always been around the community and around the culture, and always appreciated it. I always loved it. Ironically enough, I didn't really do a lot of running growing up though. I played football. I was always a lineman. I was bigger growing up. Like, I wasn't horribly fat, but I was fat enough to be bullied for it pretty much every school I went to. But yeah, it wasn't horrible. But when I got to college though, I went through a really bad mental health spell, and ended up reaching over 300 pounds. I think I weighed like 320 at the worst. And that was rock bottom for me, honestly. I had horrible habits. I weighed like 320 pounds. My apartment was a mess. I was smoking weed every day. Oh, it's just a treadmill. I'm fat. I wouldn't know about that. Yeah, I was in a bad place. I was never going to class, and of course, when you don't go to class, that led to me being, I was on academic suspension, so I ended up having to leave school because of that. And you know, it's funny, because usually I lie to people. I say it was because of COVID, but nah, COVID wasn't a thing in 2019, but you know. But yeah, I just really lost myself. When I was living in my apartment in college, I was not good habits, man. Like, you know, just the food I was eating, I have a very clean diet now. I only eat whole foods, nothing artificial, nothing. But back then, a lot of Raising Canes. I'll get high and eat a lot of Raising Canes. Decent amount of Chick-fil-A too, because at Texas Tech we had Chick-fil-A in the dining halls, so I could just use my meal card, and I'd get like 2 Chick-fil-A sandwiches, throw a bunch of Chick-fil-A sauce on that, and then here's what you do when you're 320 pounds. You take the Chick-fil-A sandwich, you put the Chick-fil-A sauce on the Chick-fil-A sandwich, and then you dip the Chick-fil-A sandwich into the Chick-fil-A sauce again. You double sauce it. Pro tip, if you're trying to get up there. But yeah, I was smoking weed every day. I wouldn't go to class. When I did go to class, which that's the funny thing. Like, in hindsight, I don't understand why I skipped an entire semester, but I went to class for the tests, like for the finals. Like, I don't know, I was just throwing like one last like Hail Mary or something. Like, I don't know. I failed the tests. I failed the finals. But so I left school. I dyed my hair blonde. I went to LA, and I was chasing music at that point. I decided, you know, if this is rock bottom for me, I'm gonna lean into it, and I'm gonna become a rapper. And I did that.
Yeah, we worked too hard and we came too far. You know I am not a medic, and I fix your broken heart. And I'm sorry that I left, but I was born to be a star. I'm just trying to trade my Honda for a Lamborghini car.
I was living in an Airbnb hostel in Watts, which was in South Central Los Angeles, if you weren't familiar with it. And it was with 12 other people who I didn't know. A couple of them I'm still close friends with today, you know, and I consider them my brothers. And we had a time there, for sure. That's another video. At the hostel, there was an outdoor workout area where they had a bench and different weights, and I would go out there and I'd pump iron, and that's kind of where it started. So the rest of my time there, I was lifting, and that turned into running. So lifting in Watts turned into running, and by the time I moved back to Austin, I was running every morning. And I'm feeling present again, I'm feeling like myself again, I'm feeling happy again, and yeah, it all just kind of snowballed from that. So the reason I picked up running again whenever I came back home was, honestly, as much as I enjoyed lifting weights, I wasn't exactly losing that weight that I wanted to. So what I was doing is I was running in the morning. I was doing fasted state cardio. So I was eating once a day, usually around 1 or 2 o'clock, and then I would run in the morning. I would do fasted state cardio in the morning. Yeah, I think that was a big thing that kind of motivated the running. At first was I needed to lose weight. I knew I'd gone too far with it. I wasn't fitting into clothes anymore. I would compare myself, and it was just, you get comments about it sometimes. And so yeah, I wasn't losing weight fast enough by simply lifting weights. So I started running, and yeah, and that's what helped me get there. And then through doing that, I just fell in love with running. The endorphin rush, just how it makes you feel. Also kind of pushing yourself, right? Like, you go from not being able to run a mile to running 2 miles, running 3 miles, and it's just that constant, moving the goalposts and proving to yourself, what you can do, being able to do what you couldn't do yesterday. And that feeling is very addictive. It's a very, very addictive feeling. By the time the pandemic was in full swing, I was down over 100 pounds. I went from being 320 to like 180 something, and I looked like a new person. I felt like a new person, and I really felt like I was me again, maybe for the first time, honestly. In hindsight, yeah, I can see in 2019 I was definitely spiraling pretty hard, and I'm just grateful that I was able to get out of that. But yeah, it's crazy to me how the snowball effect of me just wanting to get my health back, wanting to get my life back, has led from that in 2019 to now I'm training for the Tokyo Marathon in 2025. It's crazy. Like if I could go back to that, I promise I had no foresight that this is where it was going to take me at all. But I could not be more excited. Like, having been around it since I was a young kid, it's always been a dream, like in the back of my head, to run a marathon. Like, my mom did it, my aunt did it, like I always had these shirts growing up. It's like, eventually I'm sure I'm gonna do it one day, right? But now that it's actually here, now that I'm in the thick of it, and look, if I went back 5 years ago, I was nowhere close to even considering being in a position to be able to do that, right? So it's special. It's really special. The reason I even applied for the Tokyo Marathon was, I love the running community. I've been kind of reading up a lot within the running community, and I knew about the 6 world majors, 7 now with Sydney, and I knew that Tokyo was really hard to get into. And I think I was reading a few Reddit forums of people just talking about, oh, it's year 4, I didn't get in, year 5, I didn't get in, blah, blah, blah. And so, I kind of just thought, like, why not? Let's just apply and see what happens. It really wasn't, like, I wasn't planning on getting in, to be completely honest. I wasn't planning on getting in. I was just kind of like, I'm gonna put my name out there. I'm gonna see if I get in. If I get in, then sure, that's my sign. That's my sign from God. I will run a marathon if I get in. And I got in. And I got in. So, yeah, I think the number shows like less than a 10% chance of getting in, which is crazy. I know it's hardest for non-elite foreign runners, which is what I am. That's the hardest percentage to get in. But yeah, grateful, very grateful. And the elites, they obviously get in. Like, you have your Eliud Kipchoge, you have your Benson Kiprutos. Benson Kiprutos is the one who just broke the record this year, actually, the course record, which, if I remember correctly, is 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 16 seconds, I think. Hey, someone fact check me on that. I think it's 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 16 seconds. So, I think. But yeah, so, and look, to put that into full context for you, if I run a half marathon in that time, I'll be pretty happy with myself, honestly. I mean, to be the smallest percentile accepted to this marathon, right? A non-elite, foreign, first-time marathon runner, it's special. It's crazy. And, I really do thank God, honestly. This is something that, it's completely changed my life. I've been sober lately, just because I'm completely getting high on life. You know, that's what it's like. I used to smoke weed to escape. You know, I'd watch shitty YouTube videos. You know, whatever. But now it's like I don't want to escape anymore. Now I want to be present and achieve everything I can. And you know, I'm just very grateful for that. You know, I read, I was online on the forums. I was just doing all this research, and I was reading all these people. Like whenever I got my acceptance in the email, I went on Twitter, I went on Reddit, I wanted to see who else got in, or I was just reading the conversation about it. And I saw all these people like, oh, 7th year in a row, didn't get in, 5th year in a row, didn't get in, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, wow. So like there's people who have been like trying for a long time. Like there's a good number of people who have been applying for the Tokyo Marathon since this story I just told began. Like back in 2019 when I was rock bottom, I was 320 pounds. I was getting high every day in my trash department, failing out of college, right? I've gone from that through 5 years, and I'm here now, and I'm training for the marathon in March. And there's a very good amount of people who have been applying to get into that marathon that entire time. We still have not gotten in yet, which blows my mind. So I'm not taking it for granted. You know, I'm not taking it for granted. I'm putting as much effort as I can into this. I want to get the most out of it. I'm extremely grateful for it. And you know, I've never been to Japan. I've never been to Asia. I'm gonna knock off like so many bucket list items all at once, which is also just a complete blessing. But you know, yeah, I don't take it for granted at all. No matter how you came to this video, I just want to say the tallest towers, the tallest buildings are nothing without that first brick. You know, to completely change your life, all you got to do is have that courage to have the first step. Well, maybe not all you have to do, but that's the one constant. And anyone who's ever changed their life, they all have to take that first step. So that's what happened with me. That's how I started. Take that first step, keep going, and you never know where it might lead you. You know, that first step I took back in 2019, if you told me that first step was going to lead to me running in Tokyo, I wouldn't believe you. I would not believe you.